Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of What About This? It's where we ask different people about their different occupations. So today we have my mother. Tell me a little about yourself, mother.
Hello, my name is Danielle, and I am a mother of four. I have a husband, that's great, along with a grand dog. I also, I have a job. I work for the VA, along with a small business, along with just a lot of different things that I do.
All right, so let's dive right into it. The first question is, what was the first thought that came to mind when you got pregnant with twins on your third pregnancy?
Damn. My first thought was, damn, here I am, pregnant for the third time. And not only am I pregnant for the third time, but I have twins.
How old were you? Yeah.
I think I want to say I was 24,
Yeah.
about 24 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old were you when you had your first child?
I was 19 when I had my first child. I got pregnant at 18 and I had him in July. And so, yes, I had my birthday in June and I had him in July and I turned 19 and that's when I had him.
Do you remember any cravings you had during any pregnancies?
Yes, I had the weirdest craving one time. I want to say with my second pregnancy, it was ice, but the ice had to taste dirty. I needed a dirt feel. It was crazy because I lived in some projects, and for whatever reason, my refrigerator was leaking a little bit on the inside, and they didn't come and fix it yet. So I had a little bowl to catch the water, and the water would freeze up a little bit. And for whatever reason, I tasted it, and I shouldn't have. I was pregnant. And I tasted it, and when I did, it was the best taste. It was a dirt taste, and then now I was longing for that water to freeze down in that refrigerator. So I would keep the bowl in there, and sometimes I would check it to see if it's frozen a little bit. It wasn't. I was just like, man, hurry up and freeze. But that was my craving. Some dirty ice.
That's why London probably the way she is now.
Right, pica.
How did your parents feel about? First off, how did your parents feel when they first knew you were pregnant for the first time?
For the first time, I mean, at that age, she wasn't that happy, of course. But it's almost like, what can you do? You know, she wasn't the type that would say, you're going to have an abortion or anything to that nature, but she wasn't happy about it. I would say that.
Was your father involved, or did you have a father figure at the time?
So my father was not involved. He knew about me. You know, he knew I was his child and everything like that. He lived in a different state. So, I mean, I called him and told him or whatever. It wasn't like he was that happy either. We had an okay relationship, even though he really wasn't around.
Right.
We did have a stepfather as well. But it didn't matter what he thought. Yeah.
Was there a time you thought you were going to give up when you were with 4 kids in your early 20s and all of them were young? Did you ever think that you were going to give up?
Sometimes, you know, even being pregnant, when I first got pregnant, for me, that was more of my giving up moment, I would say, for the third time, because I was pregnant with twins and didn't want to be pregnant with twins. So some of my giving up moments were in those times, not to the point where I would say, I'm going to hurt myself or do anything. It was just like, again, damn, like, basically, what am I getting ready to do with 4 kids?
And what did you do to, like, get out that state of mind?
It just took time. It just took time. I would say I was depressed the entire pregnancy. Sit in the room in the dark, and just think about ways that I could possibly end the pregnancy, or just not really end the pregnancy, but what can I do outside of ending the pregnancy? So versus having an abortion, I knew I wasn't going to do that, but it was a thought, but I knew I wasn't going to do it. So I went to maybe having giving up for adoption. That was going to be my thing, but of course along the line that didn't happen either, and I figured, I'm just not going to do it.
Make it work. How far did you get in the adoption process?
I had somebody to come over. We talked. They gave me some options as far as how to do the adoption and things of that nature. Then gave me some pamphlets to look over, which I did. I was supposed to make another visit, a home visit. They were supposed to come back, but I never called them back. I just kind of just like was thinking for a long time, of course, until I didn't have more time to think. Yeah.
Was the baby father supportive for the first child and the next 2 pregnancies?
So the baby father for the first was, I would say he was supportive. We were young. We were just out of high school. We just graduated. His parents was supportive as well. So they all supported and helped. They were more excited than my family was, of course. But they were very supportive all the way through, even up until he turned 18 and to this day. So they've always been supportive. Now the father hasn't always been as supportive as his mother. Okay. So the father that died down after we took a turn and called it off. He wasn't supportive at that point. Okay. Second one, not really supportive at all, but and that's because of just life happening, and didn't really have a chance to be supportive. I would say that. Okay. So given the chance, I'm sure that he would have, but it didn't really have a chance to be supportive. And for you guys, that it was no support from him. But he had a wife, a girlfriend who he ended up marrying, and she was extremely supportive. And to this day, she was like the baby daddy at one point. So yes.
Yeah. And I can say our father's family is supportive too. Like now they are.
Yeah, now they are. And they probably would have kind of been supportive back then too, a little, had given the chance a little bit, but because he wasn't stepping up, right, they kind of really wasn't stepping up, so they didn't get the chance.
Yeah. What jobs did you have supporting 4 young children? And I also want to piggyback off that. My question was, how did you financially provide for us?
So with 4 kids, it was never easy. By the time I actually had 4 children, I was actually in the process of getting a job working for the state right when I was pregnant with you guys. And so I went to the interview. They had a job fair, and I went to the interview, and they said basically you are hired, but you are a risk because I was probably about 7-8 months pregnant, and I was huge. And they were like, you cannot start this job right now. Call us when you turn 6, after your 6-week checkup, and then we can, you can get the paperwork going and we can get you hired. And I'm like, are you for real? Like, are you serious? Mm-hmm. Because I need this job and I don't want to wait. Like, I need to work. Now I'm like, I can work now. And it's like, no, you're too high risk right now for us. So I called them after I had my 6-week checkup. They immediately put me in for the blood, or the background test, or where I go take my urine test, I would say that. My drug test. So we did that, and I was in. They were just waiting on me to go back to the doctor. So it worked out.
That's good. You got lucky.
Mm-hmm. I got blessed.
How did you feel you kind of answered this question. How did you feel after each pregnancy you finding out like you were pregnant again? And did you ever consider abortion? And how close did you come to it?
Mm-hmm. So once, to me, that has always been a thought. Every time I get pregnant, that's always a thought of. It's always something. The first time, I'm too young for this.
Mm-hmm.
The second time, I don't know if I want 2 kids. The third time, I have 4 kids. Damn. Like, I don't know, but I did go one day to the abortion clinic, and
What pregnancy was that?
I want to say that was probably the third. I want to say I went, and they had this huge big baby, big sign. It was huge. And I was about to walk in, and I'm looking at it, and I was like, I'm a little scared of this thing. Let me just get back in my car and leave. So that's what I did. So I was like, maybe I'll just think about adoption.
Those posters work.
Yeah, it did. I was like,
What advice would you give to a young mother who might be in the same situation?
To a young mother who might be in the same situation, I would definitely first let them know that it's possible. It can work. You can do it. You just have to be strong in what you do. Definitely, whatever you decide is your choice. Nobody can make that choice for you. If you want to do abortion, adoption, or whatever the case, do it if that's what makes you happy. You know. But if you decided to go the other route, that's okay. It's going to be hard. It'll be hard with one, let alone 4. You know. So whatever you decide to do, I would just say do it, and just always be firm with people and firm with your choices in life after, if you decide to go ahead and keep them.
What was your most difficult pregnancy and why? And to piggyback off of that question, describe your scariest birth.
So I would say my scariest birth and kind of most difficult would probably be the first, because I was 18 when I got pregnant. So there was a lot of doctor visits going on, and I had a doctor visit. Well, I had an ultrasound where they found out that the baby had something called gastroschisis, where the intestines were on the outside of the body. And so with that being said, the stomach area didn't fully develop. It didn't close correctly. And it happens quite often, which is what I found out. So that was extremely scary, because I was young, and I already couldn't think about having a child, let alone having a sick child. And so throughout the process, they gave me the option of the hospital did, because I didn't, I was on Medicaid or Medicare, whichever one it is. They gave me the option. They said that, he's sick, this is what's going on, and this is the rate of living, so he may live through this age, he may die at birth. Sometimes, we can do the surgery and they'll come out fine, or whatever. It was a lot of risk. But if I did not want to take that risk, there was the one time that the state will go ahead and pay for an abortion, because they knew the risk that could come with it. So I had the option at that point to say, no, I don't want it, and I could have been done at that point. Yeah. However, in my mind, deeply, I want to say, don't. Yes, let's just do that. Go ahead with it. But my mother was there, and his mother was there, so both grandmothers was there, and they were speaking before I could speak. No, she's gonna have this baby. This is what we're doing.
No, this day baby.
This day baby. So I was just in there. I was young, quiet. I was really quiet back then. I didn't say too much. I just let them talk. So yeah.
But I have one more question about that. Did the doctor ever say to you, like, come up to you personally and be like, what do you want to do?
Never. Nope. The doctor did not. The doctor, he went along with what they said, and that's what we did. Yeah, but looking back, he should have.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I hope
it wasn't that choice.
Yeah. I hope that it's not like that today.
And I should have spoke up, you know.
Yeah.
I could have spoke up.
When you met your current husband, did you have any doubts about having 4 kids already? And did you have any doubts about entering a relationship, in a serious relationship with that? I have a question similar as well. My question is, how was dating with 4 kids?
So, yes, I mean, in the beginning, I had no intention on dating anybody. I had my mind set up where I was going to just be focused on the task that was at hand. Go to work, come home, take care of my kids. Nobody was going to interfere in that. And I meant that, like, no. I did not want to. I had a pattern going on. I'll be in a relationship, get pregnant, break up, be in a relationship, get pregnant, break up. So it kept happening. So I was like, no, I'm going to stop the cycle. This is what is going to happen. I'm going to get my tubes tied, and I'm not going to have I'm just not going to be in a relationship. However, I came across your dad, and he pursued and pursued and pursued. And I continued to say no on so many levels. Like, this is not, no. Because I already had it in my head. When I start this new job, I will not allow anybody to talk to me in any kind of way when it came to dating, relationships, sex, nothing. Like, this is no. I have more than enough on my plate.
Right.
So one day I just went ahead and finally said yes, because I figured if I just go ahead and go to the movies one time, I can push them off after that. And that ended up not happening.
I do have a question. You talked about getting your tubes tied. When did you make that decision, and how did that feel coming to that decision? Yeah, and what was the process like as well? Yeah.
So I knew I was gonna get my tubes tied as soon as I had you guys. I knew that after I had you, like I said, there was a cycle, and I was gonna stop it. If this was gonna consist of me stopping the cycle, then that's what I was going to do, and I was determined to do that, and I did. So that's how I made that decision on that.
And what was the process like?
The process was it was a little different. I mean, it was surgery, so like at any surgery, you're a little fearful. You can still not wake up. So I thought about that, and then just thought about, you know, the doctors continue to ask me, what if you get into another relationship, you might want to have another baby and whatever. I'm like, no, not at this age, and definitely not with 4 kids. I think I'm good.
What ambitions did you have before having your first child? Like, what did you want to be when you grew up before having your first child?
So before having my first child, my thing, I had about 2 things. I always wanted to do the weather on the news. That was one of my things to do, was the weather. And I've always wanted to be an interior designer. So, of course, neither of those things ever happened. However, just having a home, and as time goes on, I can design everything in my own house.
Right.
So, but yeah.
You definitely have a touch for interior design.
And fashion, that was always a big deal.
My last question is, would you ever be a mother again if you had the chance?
At this age, absolutely not. But prior to this age, I would say, when you guys, I did have a thought. It was a very strong thought at one point. Well, after you guys, I was like, you know, I really, really, really want to have a baby.
How old were you at this point?
Yeah,
how old were we?
Oh, I was in my 30s.
Okay.
I was in my 30s and probably early 30s, and I kind of wanted to have a baby because I was met your dad at the job, and so we got married. So at some point, I'm like, we need to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
But it really wasn't a big deal because when we met, you guys were 2 months old, and that was enough. You know, it was just like he was there without being there. It still would have kind of been nice, but if that was the plan they got wanted, then that's what it would have been. So I'm okay.
What was Dad's train of thought when you were like, I really want to have a kid?
At that point, he was like, absolutely not. He did not want to at all. He was like, no, you got to think about it. They're at this age now, and we're at this age now. And by the time they get this age, we're gonna be this age, and we'll still be young. We can travel, you know, we can do this and that, and it's true. It's absolutely true. You know, we could not wait for you guys to grow up. It was like, okay, we still look nice.
Yeah.
We still have our good health. We doing good financially at this point. We can move around the way we want to.
Yeah.
And we not mad about it.
I can imagine having another sibling, a young sibling right now.
Oh yeah. There has been times we kind of tricked y'all and was like, okay, guess what? We having a baby. Y'all have always like, that's y'all baby. That's not our baby. So.
And did family help out financially, emotionally, physically when you had your four children? Did they help out any?
They did. They helped out a lot. They, if I wanted to go out, do anything, just even for us dating and stuff like that, you know, everything pretty much came easy. So, having you at the time that I did, or just period, having you guys, it ended up working out for the best. So it wasn't hard. You were good babies. I didn't have to worry about one up, one sleep, and that kind of thing. Y'all ate together, slept together, potty trained together. Everything was together. The other two kids were fine. Your brother was off with his father's side of the family, so everybody had somewhere to go. So when it came to dating or anything, that was easy. When it came to help with family members, if I needed to go out of town or just have a moment, you know, everybody did pitch in and participate, so it made it easy.
Good. All right, last question. Do you think we can handle being a mother of four at our age right now?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You guys cannot even handle
a dog.
A dog.
Come on.
Y'all can't. No. I would never. I mean, no. It's so many reasons why y'all wouldn't be able to handle 4 kids. I mean, mentally, y'all wouldn't even be able to handle 4 kids.
Not one.
You wouldn't be able to.
I can mentally handle a dog.
Right. So handling 4 kids, it wouldn't happen. No.
All right. And do you have anything else to say about being a mother of 4 at a young age? And yeah.
I mean, like it was a good ride. It was a long ride. It was a hard ride. You know, it was a roller coaster. It was all of those things. So, would I do it again? Probably not. Just being honest, I would definitely do some things different. Would I probably have 4 kids later on? Possibly. You know, but I mean, I come from a fertile family, so who knows? You know, but. Yeah, it was a roller coaster. I can't complain too much. Some days I could, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it would have been. Just because I had help. Without any help, it would have definitely been harder. I would say that.
Yeah. Oh, one turning point I knew I didn't want to have kids at an early age. We came home one day and you were so upset, like you had tears in your eyes. He's like, I'm just gonna pick y'all up and throw y'all out the window. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have a kidding. Like, it's enough for me. So that's why I was like,
No.
just seeing you go through it, I wouldn't want to do it at all.
That's hilarious.
You have anything else to say tomorrow? No. Alright. Well, that's been another episode of What About This. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again later. Bye.
Bye.